Coming up, my not top sets for Lego investing and reselling. Welcome to KDX Bricks Analytics, where I watch all the Lego investing and reselling videos so that you don't have to. So let's jump right into it. 11 sets got a single mention each from May 1st to May 15th, but this is not the good kind of mention. Instead, this is the avoid investing in these sets kind of mention. This video is another update to the cumulative table for the not top sets, and this table runs from January 1st to May 15th. I was just clicking through some of the sets that we're going to look at in this video. During that 4.5 month time period, I watched 177 videos, recorded down 913 Lego set mentions, and this table is a list of all the sets that have received mentions against investing and reselling. Like I said, 11 more sets got mentions in the last 2-week period. They each got one. First up is this set 42122, the Jeep Wrangler. The next set is 75323, the Justifier. Both of those are up to 2 mentions against investing and reselling. I'm going through these sets quickly because I'm going to rank them all here in a second from worst to worser to worsest. Well, I'm going to do it 11th first, so that would be worsest to worser to worst. And actually, 1 or 2 of these could do okay. I generally agree that these sets are not great for in retirement. We'll talk about that. Next up on the table is 76243, the Rocket Mech Armor, also 2 mentions, and the rest of these sets in this video got their first mention against investing and reselling. This one, 76241, the Hulk Mech Armor, and then the third armor in this grouping, 76242, the Thanos Mech Armor. Also on this table is the Guardians of the Galaxy Headquarters, 76253, and then a huge set, 10294, the Titanic, another large set, 21335, the Motorized Lighthouse, 75346, the Pirate Stubfighter, 75363, the Mandalorian N1 Starfighter Microfighter with little Grogu in it, and then lastly on the table is 76959, Triceratops Research. Got its first mention against investing and reselling. This set actually doesn't come out for another few days on June 1st. I will scroll slowly up the table and we'll come back and look at these as I'm ranking them. As you can see, there are a bunch of other sets on here that have received previous mentions against investing and reselling. Now for my ranking. In 11th place, we are going to start out with... Oh, and don't forget, my videos are for entertainment purposes only. I do not provide financial advice. You got to get that from somebody else. The Guardians of the Galaxy Headquarters. I do want to caveat this by saying that 67 pieces, 2 minifigures, and $10 is fantastic. Another great $10 set that Lego has put out. They've been really killing it on the $10 sets when it comes to value, and a lot of them I've even picked up just to have little side builds, and if you want to build a quick set here and there, they've been great. But although this set is really good from a retail perspective, it's not great from an investment perspective. First of all, it's called the Galaxy Headquarters, and it is only 67 pieces. I'm not going to get all wrapped around the axle about that. A lot of people complain about that, but I do think that that does hurt it. When you hear a headquarters set and then you have it be this small with only 2 minifigures, I think that will certainly hurt it in the post-retirement phase. Also, it's only $10, so you'd have to sell a lot of units to make it worth it. Piling on, the minifigures are just not that great. Groot's head is exclusive, and Groot's shoulder armor is exclusive in this color. It's been recolored for this set. I think it was in 8 or 9 other sets in different colors, but the Groot minifigure is just not that good overall. There's a pretty good picture of both of them. And then again, the headquarters set is pretty small, and that one stud cylinder piece does not light up at all like in this picture. That would actually be kind of cool. So that's why I've put this set in last place. Now in 10th place is 76241, the Hulk Mech Armor set. More mechs, not very exciting for most of us. Lego has done a bunch of mechs, even though this picture in this pose actually looks pretty cool. But the minifigure, although exclusive to this set, is not anything of too much interest or very special looking. It does have dual molded legs, which is kind of cool. It's $15 for 138 pieces. Not anything exciting. The knees don't move at all on these new mechs because of that piece that has the shaping, the angle of the upper and lower part of the legs, but that is a fixed angle that does not move. I think that's good for play, and I have no problem with Lego doing that and making these sets, but I don't think that this set will do well in retirement. And then next up is 76243, the Rocket Mech Armor. That one is up here on the table with 2 mentions. All of these mechs are retiring at the end of this year. This one's a disappointment primarily because this minifigure is just not that special. The torso is exclusive, but the raccoon headpiece is in a few other sets. It's $15 for 98 pieces. It only has a 3.6 rating here on Brickset. But one thing that is kind of cool about this set is the recolored reddish brown bush piece right there. This piece came out in 1993, and this recolor is quite useful, especially if you're doing some sort of arid landscape, or maybe you've got an industrial or train or trucking landscape, and I think these would go in very well. So that is a nice piece to have in this color. But overall, there are a lot of superhero mechs and other mechs on the market, and the value is just not there for investing and reselling. All right, I've already lost count, but I think that this is my 8th place set, and this is 76242, the Thanos mech armor. The minifigure looks pretty cool, actually. The torso is exclusive to this set, but similar to the other two mechs, not anything that's going to get anybody too excited. The reason I ranked this one the highest of these three mechs is because of the minifigure looking the best of the three, and also the color combinations with the purple and the gold pieces. I know that some of these pictures make them look like they're the drum lacquered painted gold, but they're not. They're just the regular, what do they call that? The regular warm gold. That's it, the regular warm gold. And the other thing I like about this set in terms of pieces is this piece right here, the brick with bow, and it's a 2x2 piece that has that nice rounded corner, and the purple color is kind of cool. All right, so that gets the mechs out of the way. Now on to my 7th place set is the first Star Wars set, 75363, the Starfighter Microfighter. And this set actually looks pretty good for a microfighter. I really like the minifigure, all that metallic printing, the arm printing, the Mando helmet always looks great. I know it's not perfect. I'm okay with that, but I like it. Overall, it has the jetpack. I think that's in the gunmetal gray color. The jetpack can stay on him when he's sitting in the microfighter, which is nice. But this set is $16 for 88 pieces, and microfighters are normally $10. And as far as I can tell, everything is about the same as previous microfighters, except this one just has the small Grogu minifigure, and this minifigure, of course, is not worth $6. And so I think the price on this one is gonna hurt it a fair amount in retirement. Odds are we'll be able to get it on sale. And so if you like to target the low price sets where you have to sell a lot of them to really actually get some cash back in terms of investment and make some actual money, then this one might be okay, but you really have to get it on sale. Another Star Wars set I've ranked in my 6th spot, and this is the Pirate Stubfighter. And a lot of people really don't like this set. They're really disappointed by this set, primarily because it is $35 for 285 pieces, and the minifigures are only so-so. They have the same headpiece, which is certainly a disappointment, and it really would have made sense for this set to have a Pirate King Gorian Shard minifigure or a Grief Karga minifigure. And had they added in, honestly, both of those at this price point, that would have been really good. But had they added in one of those, that would have been decent. But with that said, these minifigures look really, really good. In particular, I like the snub fighter pilot, and that helmet piece is really well done with all those details. Back to the ship itself, it's actually pretty good. It's not a throwaway. Yes, it's all gray. It is two-tone gray, which is good. The canopy piece has that, I think that's some sort of transparent bluish color, and I think that stands out nicely. So I like the ship a fair amount. With those two minifigures, it's decent. I'm sure this set will be at least 20% off a lot, which I think means we can get it for 30% off from time to time. And at that price, I think it could do okay in retirement. Still a pretty low price point, so you'd have to sell a lot of units, but not a bad set overall. And here it is on the table. At the bottom of the table here, it is not retiring at the end of this year. Next up is this 30th anniversary Jurassic Park set from the original 1993 movie. This is 76959, the Triceratops Research. It is 281 pieces, 2 minifigures, and the Triceratops, and it is going to be $50 coming out very soon. Very, very high price point. Minifigures look pretty good. Ellie Sadler there on the left, very, very recognizable. Look at that, know exactly what movie that's from. And of course, Ian Malcolm, also very recognizable, know what movie that is from. We've had a lot of Triceratop molds in the past. This one looks good. And as we know, we pay a premium for the large dinosaurs in these Jurassic Park sets. I do think the Jeep looks pretty good. We haven't gotten too many good classic Jurassic Park Jeeps other than the T-Rex breakout set. So it's nice to see that, but it is very expensive at $50. We would need to get a huge discount in order for this one to do okay in the secondary market. It's not one that I think is going to do well. The side build, yes, it is true to the movie, and I'm sure kids will enjoy that and think it's pretty funny, but it's not that good for display or for collecting and reselling. And that chocolate candy looking frog there certainly adds some glossiness and freshness to the side build. That's a pretty humorous and kind of gross piece selection on that. If I've been able to keep count, this is my 4th place set, my 4th not so worse set, and it is the Justifier, $170 for 1,022 pieces, but it is going to have a very short shelf life. It came out on August 1st of 2022. It is expected to retire at the end of this year. The minifigures are really good. 3 of the 5 are exclusive. All of the elements of Cad Bane are exclusive. The Toto 360 is exclusive, and the hair and the torso of Omega is exclusive. Hunter and Fennec Shand are not exclusive, but they still look really good. Very, very good minifigure selection. I think they're already going for around $80 on the secondary market. But we all know the problem with this set is the $170 price. I think the other issue with this set is this ship is ugly. Now, with that said, because it's a Star Wars ship, I still want one, and I still want to build one, and I still want to have one as part of my Star Wars ship collection. But it is an ugly ship. It's very gappy. It's another gray with black accent that doesn't look great to me. It gets a little boring after a while. The main feature is it goes from landing mode to flying mode, which I don't think is particularly exciting. Best I recall, there's not a lot of interior space that's very useful. So for me, the ship is a huge disappointment. This set, though, is starting to get some recent buzz for investing and reselling, mainly because it was on very good discount during the May the 4th promos at Lego and at some of the other stores. But still, at that $140, maybe even $130 price, I think it's going to be tough on the secondary market. But it is a Star Wars. It's a good sized ship, and it does have 5 or 4.5 minifigures. If you're willing to hold it for a long time, it might do okay, but I think you got to target closer to $100, which it might actually get to right before retirement. I think there's still a pretty good stock that Lego and the retailers have. All right, now for my top 3. In third place is this set, 10294, the Titanic. This set is not retiring at the end of the year. It has been out since late 2021. It is $680 for 9,090 pieces. This set is crazy good. Not sure how good it's going to be in retirement, but it's crazy good. I'm showing you the small pictures here. I'll click on them in a second. It has 128 ratings here on Brickset and a 4.6 score. That definitely tells us something. But look at these pictures, how this sits on that shelf there. That is so well done. Here's another one where you can see all the detail on the different decks. Very, very accurate representation of the Titanic, and how it breaks apart into its sections is really well done. And at each breakpoint, there's a little bit of micro scale detail on the inside. Other than where the breakpoints are, there's no detail, but still, that's a really nice touch for this set. I think that this set, if you have a lot of storage space and if you want to hold it for a decent amount of time, would do okay. Here on Brickset today, 4,000 people already own it, but another 3,800 want it. And one thing that's an advantage about a very expensive set is that you don't need 100% return on investment to make it worth your time. It's selling for $680. Maybe we can get it on sale. Let's round it to $600 to make it easy. If it goes to $800, that's an okay investment. If it goes to $900, that's a pretty good investment on one set. Also, Titanic is hugely, hugely iconic and popular through many fabrics and layers of American society and also British and English society. In Google, I threw some questions in there. The first one was, how many museums is the Titanic in? This place is called thetravel.com. It says there are 5 Titanic museums in the United States. The very fact that we have that number all telling and retelling the same story is an indication of how the tragedy is rooted deep in the socioculture. I also threw into Google Titanic museums and exhibits and pulled up a bunch of pictures. Clearly, there's still huge popularity. This set is a museum piece, absolutely a museum piece. And then lastly, I threw in Titanic books into Google, and there are a ton of books written about Titanic. Very, very popular in our culture. Another thing I do want to point out about this set, which I do think matters a lot, is that it is very narrow. It's long and it's huge and it looks fantastic. It certainly has a presence in a room, but it's narrow. And what does narrow mean? It means that it's very easy to put it on a shelf. Therefore, I think a lot of people look at this and say, I have a great place that I would love to display this, and it would not force them to do some major furniture rearranging in order to be able to show this set off. This set was designed by Mike Siaki, and I already clicked on this, so let me click over to that page. And here are the 36 sets in Brickset that Mike has added to his list of sets that he has designed. So right here it says the official list of Lego sets I have designed since starting to work at Lego in 2012. So a bunch of small sets to start out with, but you will see that he is responsible for some of the best Lego sets that have come out recently. Over the last few years, he has certainly emerged as one of the premier designers in the Lego group. Here's a great one that I own, 31039, the blue Power Jet, awesome creator set. This 10248 Ferrari F4 that is going for $300 or $400. Really nice set there. Scrolling down, a creator expert Volkswagen Beetle set, the carousel that is very popular in retirement, And here we go, 21309, the NASA Apollo Saturn V that has been hugely popular. He was responsible for this one and the re-release, of course. I love this set. I own a couple of them. Downtown Diner set, 10262, the James Bond Aston Martin DB5. That's a great set. We all wish it had more curvature and less blocky. It's funny that the Speed Champions 8-stud wide set of this has more curves than this set, but still, all the action features in this set are really good, especially the ejection seat. And then clicking on to page 2, the Ford Mustang that came out in 2019. That's a great set. The best of the stadium sets, even though the stadium sets were not very popular for retirement, it still looks really good. The Echo 1 Icon's large vehicle, the re-release of the Saturn V. This set right here, the Porsche 911, I have it. I haven't built it yet, but watching the reviews, apparently some of the design and build techniques are really, really advanced, really intelligent, and really well engineered by Mike Siaki. The Titanic that we're looking at, the 90th anniversary commemorative Galaxy Explorer set, the huge Lion Knights Castle set. I didn't realize he was the designer of this set. That's fantastic. I love this set. I don't own it yet, but I will. And then the Botanicals Orchid. So clearly Mike has a really good track record with designing fantastic sets, and some of the larger ones have done very well in retirement. Now on to my second place set, the Technic Jeep. It's a $50 set. Almost 6,000 people own it. 146 ratings. That's a lot. Only a 4.0 score. We've been able to get this set for as low as $30. I think it will be a very, very long hold time if it does do okay in retirement. But the reason I think it has an okay shot, a small shot, is because of pictures like this. That looks like the Jeep. It's got great suspension. It's got the winch. You can really make this Jeep go into some action shots, just like the real Jeep owners would desire. And it also looks really good compared to the source material. I actually like the Technic Jeep better. If I were to own a real one, I would want it to look a little more blocky, which I know is a little older looking in terms of year and model. This to me looks a little tougher and a little more rugged than the actual source material. There are a lot of diehard Jeep fans out there that someday could want to get this set. All right, so now my number one set from this video of not top sets, and I want to preface this by saying that generally I agree with avoiding all of these sets for investing and reselling, but I did want to point out on a few of them at least how they could become an okay investment. I don't think any of them are going to become great, but they could become an okay investment. If you're willing to hold on to them for a very long time, then they could become a little better than okay, and that's just the last few that we've talked about. But my first place set from this video is the Motorized Lighthouse. This set is actually really, really amazing. I'm surprised that there's not more buzz around this set. I think it's again because of the price, $300, just over 2,000 pieces, but it does have the motors and the mechanisms so that the light can be motorized itself. But outside of the price and of course the price per part, this set is really, really well done, really well designed. If we scroll down, we can see that it has a rating of 4.7 and over 3,700 people still want to get this set. It is not retiring yet. It has been out since 2022. So let me think, 2022, 2024. It'll probably, I think it'll retire at the end of 2024, but I don't know that for sure. Could go into 2025. But the reason I think this set has a shot is because it is similar to the modular buildings, which have done very well historically in terms of its scale, its size, its detail, the overall quality, but it's something different than a modular building. If we can find this set, maybe get lucky and find it for $230, but hopefully find it for $250 sometime before it retires, then there's a chance, long hold time, but there's a chance that it could do pretty well in retirement because of how good it is in terms of its detail and in terms of its design. Here's a picture of all the interior elements climbing up to the lighthouse itself. Obviously not going to be a ton of detail in there, but they still fit a lot in there for what we have. The rock structure that it's sitting on out in the ocean is really well done. As expected, the keeper's house has some pretty good detail in there. Not a lot of space, so you can only do so much, but it has the bed, it has some things hanging on the wall. Clearly somebody can live in that small space for periods of time pretty easily. And this set reminds me of some other sets that have done pretty well in the past. This one in particular, the old fishing store, was $150 back in 2018, and it's $600 now. It also reminds me of this Bricklink 2021 designer program set, this Mountain View Observatory. And yes, these sets were very, very limited, so they're already pretty much doubled in price. I'm not really comparing the price because the supply is very low for these Bricklink designer designer program sets. But still, the fact that this is what the fans voted on for the Bricklink designer program indicates that there's some popularity for sets that have these buildings on top of natural geographic formations and structures. And this is a very good set. And same thing with this set too. I actually picked this one up and I love it. Also the 2021 Bricklink designer program. This one is the mountain windmill set. I just loved the integration of the rocks and the land and the building, the windmill all into one set. Really well done. And then another set from the designer program. Obviously it's not a building, but still, again, it's showing that fans really like these sets that are nautical and unique looking and have good detail. So I think this Motorized Lighthouse set has a okay chance. Yeah, I mean, just look at that picture there. I know it's way doctored up, but that is really selling it for me. And then this one that looks a little more natural is also really selling it for me. The more I talk about this set, the more I want to pick one up. I don't own one yet, and I haven't decided if I want to get one for myself. I don't think that I'm going to invest in it unless I can find it for a really, really good discount. But again, the more I talk about it, the more I'm thinking about I might want to pick one up for myself for my own collection. That's a wrap on this video, and I will see you in the next one.